Oh boy. It's been a month since my sister's death and subsequent revival. Even though I haven't found the answer to my question, is my 6-year-old big sister who revived as a clone an extension of the sister I knew before? Or is she someone else entirely? My thoughts simply went circles without any process, then and time pointlessly passed by. My sister went through periodic examinations as test subject and seemed to be tasked with various jobs in her free time. Seems to be. It doesn't concern me. Since the day I haven't spoken to or communicated with my 6-year-old big sister more than absolutely necessary. Her memories are still overrun with fake ones. Seeing her excitedly talking about cloning is maddening. Feels like liquid nitrogen is being poured into the back of my head. What do I do? Without ever finding the answer, the day when I would have executed my plan had arrived. Without killing anyone, finding answers, or gaining the remaining 10% of Dr. Tereshima's data, 2 months has passed since the day I was supposed to execute my plan. My country must have lost their patience from all the reports showing no progress because they informed me they had been sending in a new spy. It was over. The new spy came in, they'd find out my sister had died and came back to life as a clone. Then regardless of what I think of her, she'd have to be killed. There's no way my country would allow my clone sister to continue living. Couldn't possibly hide what happened to my sister when the new spy arrived. What in the world was I supposed to do? Couldn't rely on my sister. She was the source of all my troublings in the first place. Should I talk to Dr. Tereshima? Not a chance. Wouldn't even make sense to do so. All I could think of were impossible ideas. Then time was up. The new spy sent for my country had arrived. Thank you for the introductions. I'm Adeline Aveline. I had never seen her before. She must be from a different spy organization than my father's. I majored in cytology and mainly studied the stable production of cow clones via egg fertilization. Look forward to working with you all. Adeline, the new researcher, should I say the new spy, bowed her head after giving the same introduction I had given long ago. She doesn't seem to be very good at faking expressions. Her lips were curled into the shape of a smile, but her eyes were as cold as ice. Olga, I don't have many tasks for you today. Why don't you show her around the facilities? I'm not showing Adeline around as per Dr. Tereshima's request. I wonder if this woman knows she was sent here because I haven't made any progress in my spy work. If she did, I doubt she had any positive feelings towards me. Felt incredibly uncomfortable. Just like Dr. Tereshima once said, I went on paddling and explained things no one talked about. Many newcomers wondered why these facilities were made underwater. I was first told because it was cool, but it's actually because the temperature adjustments described for experiments are better done underwater. Adeline didn't even nod in response to my explanation. She just stared at the ocean on the other side of the arcuate glass. I take it you don't like talking to people very much, Adeline? No, it's not that. Adeline shall look at me. Don't you get? That's not what I wanted to talk about. Hurry up and prepare an environment where we can get to the real subject. That's what her look said to me. I pretended not to notice and continued with pointless explanations about the facilities when she suddenly raised her voice. Would you mind showing me your room, Olga? You can discuss the real subject there. That's what she was trying to tell me. I hadn't mentally prepared myself yet, but there was no point in delaying the inevitable here. I had no choice but to face her head on. As if to set my resolve, and as if to recognize her, I gave her a small nod. Then I turned my heel to start leading her to my room. Olga! I heard the worst possible voice I could hear at the moment. My 6-year-old big sister came jogging over to the end of the corridor in a lab coat that was clearly too big for her. Adeline frowned. And she is... Oh, you must be the newcomer who came in today. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to your orientation. Nice to meet you. I'm Olga's older sister. Oh, you must think it's odd that she has an older sister who looks like this. My 6-year-old sister began to explain what happened to her and why she was wearing a lab coat looking like a little child. We look forward to working with you. She bowed in such difference it was hard to believe it was coming from a 6-year-old. Adeline's frown deepened. ... What's the meaning of this? Adeline yelled without any regard for the possibility of someone listening in. As soon as we entered the room, she put her hand around my neck and violently slammed me into the wall. I was immediately winded and felt a sharp pain in the back of my eyes. Wait, said Fanny, but my words didn't reach her ears. Adeline barked at me, glancing at me with bloodshot eyes. What the hell was that? What did she mean she died? What did she mean she came back to life? The reason for her anger was, of course, due to my sister's revival as a clone. Why was she revived as a clone when she was sent here to wipe out cloning technology? Why did she go out for wool and come back sworn? Wire, tap. I moved my mouth without saying a word. This room could be bugged after all. I couldn't talk about it out loud. Adeline clicked her tongue irritably and pushed me away as she released the hands around my neck. I could feel the oxygen return to my lungs. Specks of light seemed to flicker in the back of my eyes. I crumpled to the ground and began coughing uncontrollably. Without hesitation, Adeline grabbed my collar and forced me to stand up. She then picked up the notepad next to my phone and slammed it onto the desk. Couldn't escape. But despite that, I didn't want to face reality head on. Generally, subtly, I would bend the truth to my favor. I want to mention my sister's intentions in her revival as a clone. The executing bed in her stomach was put there against her will. I continued telling these lies that could be exposed at any time. Haha. I only let out a loud sigh. You sisters are worthless. I can almost hear her saying it without even using any words. And as if to say this in the final question, she glared at me. Why did you hide this? Why didn't I report my sister's death and revival to my country? What kind of question was that? I hid so this wouldn't happen. I wanted to avoid the situation in which my country confirmed what happened to my sister and had no choice but to kill her. But of course I couldn't just say the truth. I was afraid of my country thinking lesser of me. I sighed again, even deeper this time. Just then a thought crossed my mind. If I killed this woman right now, my sister and I could pretend not to notice the terrible option that just sprang in my head. Alan was right, and I was the one who was wrong. Oh boy! Got 3 more! I know it sounds conceited, but I absolutely certain my sister and I are the top 10 best spies in our country. We're a product of long years of training rather than a talent we were born with, and my sister and I, well, at least I have a sense of pride for my own abilities. It wouldn't be a stretch to say half the reason and value of my own existence is in my job as a spy. I am here because I am a spy, and I am a spy because I am here. But Alan is also quite skilled as a spy, even when compared to my sister and me. She executed her missions with a machine-like calmness, and even succeeded in obtaining the remaining 10% of Dr. Tereshima's data, which I had yet to do. She slept with him just as I had. Adeline informed me with an unchanging expression. She had slept with Dr. Tereshima and found an opportunity soon after. Then she completed the task without issues. There was nothing in the remaining 10% of data that would be cause to postpone our mission. To be honest, I didn't like that one bit. She could have discussed it with me first, as that was supposed to be my mission. It was clear as day that Adeline didn't trust me at all. It had been 3 days after she took the remaining 10% of Dr. Tereshima's data. Adeline suddenly came to my room and brazenly told me with a written message. I had a discussion with our people, and we came to a decision. About what? Gave her a puzzled expression, and Adeline wrote 3 numbers. It was a date, 1 month from today. What else? The day we execute the plan. Adeline told me there was no need to investigate further. That was the day we would massacre everyone in the facility. The plan was simple. There was a facility-wide assembly held every Tuesday. We would detonate pipe bombs that were where the majority of staff members would gather, killing everyone there. Then one by one, we'd kill everyone else who didn't attend this assembly. After that, we'd have plenty of time to destroy all the data and produce the cloning and products of the cloning research to the point where they would be completely unrecoverable. Allie and I would escape to the ocean with a ship, then blow up the mines facility with dynamite just in case. There are detailed procedures from each of those steps, but the mission itself was easier than a high hurdle race with all the hurdles removed. We already confirmed there was no other professionals within the facility that could oppose us. The explosives and firearms required for the mission were slowly smuggled into Mani by my sister before I joined. All that was left was to press the switch. All that was left was to pull the trigger. Everything was already in place. I simply needed to mentally prepare myself. Killing my 6-year-old big sister was no big deal. I feigned indifference. No, that wasn't good enough. I needed to bring myself to think that way and believe it. I've been trained many times to separate my personal feelings from the mission. I've killed countless people I didn't even hate. I've slept with countless people I didn't even love. It was all for this day. All those days of hellish training were all for this very day. In my bed, the restroom, walking down the hall, behind Dr. Tereshima, while sleeping with Dr. Tereshima, I spent every moment shouting down my anxiety and uncertainty. Your 6-year-old big sister a different person from my sister. Yes, the creation of life is a privilege reserved only for God. Clone couldn't possibly be my sister. The questioning felt like a form of self-harm. So you should kill her then. Yes, I should. Everything related to the clone research is a blight upon this world. It felt like I was killing part of myself. Would you still have killed her if her memory wasn't impaired? Of course. Everything related to clone research is a blight upon the world. Her memory is of a little importance. Nausea. Do you think you should kill her yourself? Yes, I do. Despair. How could you be so sure you won't regret it? I won't. Even if I did, there would be completely insignificant to the world. Rejection. Is cloning truly a sin? Cloning is absolutely a sin. So I repeated this line of questioning in my head. All anxiety and uncertainty inside me disappeared without a trace. Now I was ready. I obtained a heart of iron. I galvanized myself by repeating it over and over. But it turned out I was struggling to control myself far more than I had realized. Just as we were about to go to bed as usual, Dr. Hiroshima kissed me once and said, "You've been looking a bit pale lately." "It's nothing." "Your sister's been worried too. She said you seem to be very in trouble by something lately." "Well, you can always talk to me if something's wrong. I'm your superior and lover, after all." Wasn't he a smooth one? What a load of crap. After having slept with Adeline, Dr. Hiroshima didn't know that I knew about their little relationship. I say relationship, but they had only slept together 3 or 4 times, and Adeline was giving him the slip ever since she retrieved the data she needed. I've been physically with him many more times than she had, and the level of intimacy in our relationship was far deeper, but ridiculous. What was I even trying to compete for? Self-esteem? Home is ego. It was all useless to me. Anything that wasn't needed for the job would be shot down with the logic of God. I had shaped my heart into that of a spy. Ever since Adeline came to mind, my sister and I had grown further apart than ever. I continued avoiding her. The trick to controlling your own heart is to face your anxiety and uncertainty head on. I understood that, but I was afraid that if I talked to her, all the words I've been shooting down in my head could change shape and turn on me. I avoided her all the time because I thought it would be better to avoid seeing her until the day of the plan than to risk facing those emotions. But 3 days before the day we had planned to execute the plan, my 6-year-old big sister came to me in my room. I'd come as close to asking her to leave because I didn't feel like talking to her at the moment. But when I saw her looking afraid that I'd deny her, I couldn't bring myself to spit out the words. I invited her into my room and put a cup of tea on the table for her. "Sorry to budge in so suddenly." "It's okay, but what is it?" "Nothing in particular, but lately, ever since Adeline came, I guess, you seem even more downcast than before." "You think so?" "If something's bothering you, I wish you'd tell me about it." "No, nothing's... I'm your sister, Olga." "You may think so, but that's not how I see you." "Strange that she never gets a name." "You're not my big sister. I already decided that. But despite that, or maybe because of that, because the 6-year-old big sister in front of me isn't my sister, because she's just a stranger, because of that, I decided to ask her. What if, hypothetically speaking..." "Yeah?" I knew I shouldn't, but I couldn't stop myself. Far, far away from Japan, there's a country with a religious outlook that directly denounces cloning technology. The higher-ups of that country realized cloning experiments were being done at this facility, so they sent in a certain woman to work as a spy. The woman believed in the country's religion without question and continued her spy efforts with pride. But one day, someone very dear to her died. But that person had come back to life thanks to the sinful cloning technology. Because of that, a part of her had been saved. The girl began questioning whether the religion she believed in was right. Or more like she began wondering what she was supposed to think about clones. She just didn't know anymore. "Yeah? And how do I say this? If you were to talk to that girl, what would you tell her?" My sister put her hand to her lips and lowered her eyes. Then her lips barely moved as she spoke in a barely audible voice. "I'm sorry." "What?" "Sorry, this is just so sudden. I can't imagine what that'd be like." "Oh." That's what she meant by sorry. Of course. My 6-year-old big sister lost her memories and had no idea that she abandoned her mission as a spy for me to complete mine. There's no... I can't speak. There was no way I would get the apology as part of me so greatly desired. Oh boy, 2 left. The night before the day we executed the plan, Adeline and I had a final meeting in my room to go over the details. On the table was the usual notepad. 4 pistols, including some spares. The detonation device for the pipe bombs we'd already sent in the gathering hall. And the destination device for the dynamite that would blow mine to smithereens. Adeline didn't write anything in the notepad, instead picking up 2 of the pistols and placing them in front of me. Then she moved everything else to her side of the table. I only had 2 pistols while Adeline got everything else. Huh, what kind of distribution is this? I furrowed my brow with that thought in mind, I only stared into my eyes as she wrote on the notepad with a pen. Sorry, but I don't trust you. Afraid you'll suddenly change your mind about the plan over your feelings for your sister. Worst case, you might even betray our country and defect to this side. Change my mind? Betray my country and defect to Mani? The thought had never even crossed my mind. What the hell did you think I was struggling with this all the time? What the hell do you think I was struggling with this all this time? That first "this" should not be in there. God damn freaking grammatical errors. And that's no excuse. Like, that's no excuse. Like, that does not sound right. What the hell do you think I was struggling with this all this time? What the hell do you think I was struggling with all this time? The first "this" should not be there. Does not make sense. I don't care what anyone says. Why do you think I was going through the torment of trying to brainwash myself every day? Just what part of me have you been observing all this time? Couldn't even be bothered to try and justify myself. It's only natural for Adeline to be cautious of me. I knew I'd given her enough reason to suspect me because of my past actions. Gave a small reluctant nod and stuck the guns I was given to the holsters around my waist. While our discussion here was done, that was what Adeline's tight-lipped expression told me as she got up and left. After confirming the sound of the door closing, I began thinking about tomorrow. Dr. Terashima decided whether or not he'd attend the facility-wide assembly depending on how he was feeling that day. The bomb would take care of him if he attended, or Adeline would take care of him with a bullet to the head if he didn't. My sister had a periodic examination to go to, so she wouldn't be at the assembly. She was confirmed to be targeted by Adeline. We divided up the task of shooting anyone who wouldn't be at the assembly, and Adeline was in charge of both Dr. Terashima and my sister. And that reason, of course, was I wouldn't get any funny ideas. So I went... Sorry, I was hearing a weird noise. I was like... So I wouldn't be talking nonsense. So I won't get swept by my stupid emotions. Ha. She had such little trust me I couldn't help but laugh. I wouldn't trust me either. Adeline was right. She suspected suspicious. I've been struggling to kill my emotions all this time, but just like Adeline, I didn't trust my own heart. Ha. I decided to do maintenance on my gun to take my mind off my predicament. Took out the Boston bag my sister had put all of her guns and equipment in for the plan. From there I took out the small aluminum case containing the firearm maintenance tools. Huh? A short one silencer. Before Adeline got here, there were 4 silencers for 4 guns, but now there were only 3 in the bag. This mission would be carried out after the explosion, so we wouldn't be needing the silencer this time. So why... Adeline? Adelina. Have I been saying her name wrong? Adelina. I've been saying Adeline. Ugh. God, this is going to be a long-ass video. Didn't trust me. I won't be surprised if she decided to eliminate the root of what could have made me turn my back on the plan. My 6-year-old big sister, Dr. Terashima. Adeline must be planning to kill them tonight before the plan would be set to motion. She didn't want me to find out. That was why she took the silencer. Took a deep breath. Adelina was going to kill my 6-year-old big sister and Dr. Terashima tonight. So what she did, it wasn't a problem. So what if a couple people died today instead of tomorrow? In fact, a couple factors that could be troubling me tomorrow would be eliminated early. I should be happy, right? I think Adelina tomorrow. Didn't like her very much until now, but I appreciated her thoughtfulness this time around. Thanks. Yeah, that was it. No reason to feel troubled. None at all. That should be the case. But my heart overpowered my logic. Before I knew it, I leapt out of my room and ran toward my sister's room. ... My hunch was right. I found the door to my sister's room wide open. From the opening, I could see the horrible scene I had pictured in my head earlier. My 6-year-old big sister sitting in her bed with a fearful expression on her face. Adelina standing before her with a gun pointed right at her. Adelina clicked her tongue and turned around to face me. Just as she did, I leapt at her. Wait! What is there to wait for? We tumbled to the floor. Got on top of Adelina, then she ended up on top of me. Fought to mount each other like a scene in a Hollywood movie. From the corner of my eyes, I saw my sister watching us with a pale expression. In our struggle, Adelina aimed her silencer at me. A moment before she fired, I knocked it out of her hands with a swift chop. Mount Adelina once again. Then pressed down to crush both her shoulders with my hands to end this field battle for the moment. Suddenly my brain was heavily rattled inside my head. Adelina's fist had connected directly to my left cheek. Lost consciousness. Tables had turned in an instant. The shock of my head hitting the ground jolted me back to reality. Adelina was now on top of me. Her legs were securely holding down my arms. She had me completely under control. Alina stared down at me with an icy glare. Wordlessly, she pulled a gun from my own holster. She pressed the barrel against my head. I had a feeling it would end like this. With those final words, she pressed the trigger without a shred of hesitation. Alina then fell to the ground, bleeding from the side of her head. Huh? Why? Why did Alina die instead of me? Sudden flood of information had been too much for me to process, and the falling Alina seemed to move in slow motion. I looked in the direction Alina's wound came from. My 60-year-old big sister was holding a gun with a silencer in her hand. I'm sorry. Why did she apologize? Why was she aiming at Alina? Oh, because we're sisters and I was almost killed? But how was she so calm after shooting someone? My 6-year-old big sister loaded the gun and looked at me sadly. There wasn't a hint of confusion toward the current situation in her expression. The situation Alina and I were in, the intentions Alina and I had. Calm expression told me she understood all that. Big sister? I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to apologize. I remember everything. Huh? She went on with calm, unlit eyes and a mature expression that couldn't possibly be mistaken for that of a 6-year-old. You of all people must have noticed, Olga, that for some reason I lost my memories as a spy after being received as a clone. My memories was impaired. Huh? Wait a minute. It was all a lie. I remembered it all, everything. I was only pretending to forget. What are you saying? My accidental death was arranged by me too. It was a suicide. I decided for myself. I killed myself. I realized there was a possibility of that. I didn't put much thought of that because I thought it would be an insult to my sister. It just wasn't realistic. But unfortunately, my instincts were right. Why? I couldn't help but ask. I already knew most of the truth, and I couldn't imagine the words that were about to come out of my sister's mouth. Didn't want to know that awful truth. I'd rather say ignorant. But still, I had to ask. Why? Why did you choose suicide? Because I didn't know anymore. Didn't know if my religious views were right or whether I really should carry out the plan. So I wanted to make sure. Since I had an X key implemented already, I would probably be revived as a clone. Then I would know for myself. If I was revived as a clone, would I still be me or someone else entirely? Was cloning technology truly the work of the devil like we thought? Then, what did you find out? What did you see after confirming for yourself? I was still me. That was why. That was why my sister wept so uncontrollably after being revived as a clone. Those weren't tears of relief from finding out she didn't die, nor were they tears of joy for our reunion. She was left with no choice but to deny the religion she had believed in. Those were tears of despair from that horrible realization. I was still me. All my thoughts, feelings, and memories were all within me, the new me. My new body didn't feel right at first, but that was it. Only the container changed. Everything else was still me. I couldn't have faith in my own religion anymore. I went through the troubles of dying, so it would have been nice to be revived as someone else. There were tears in my big sister's eyes. Then, if I wasn't me, I couldn't work with you again to do what I needed to do. Things wouldn't have had to change. I'm sorry for running away. I couldn't move forward or backwards. I just ran away by pretending to lose my memories. Pushed everything onto you. And made you suffer. Now I understand. If I understand the reason my father tried to appoint me as the first one to infiltrate Mani. He must have recognized the perilous position she was in. He knew this could happen someday. He knew she would try to find out for herself. He knew she would try to run away. But it was too late for me to realize all this. My beloved sister was crying in front of my eyes. There's only one thing I could say to her. It will all be okay. Even though there were no reasons to believe that. Even though nothing really was okay. Even though we had no idea what the future would hold. Even though I tried getting through my situation with irresponsible words. It'll be okay. Ugh. My sister crouched onto the floor and wailed as if she was actually a child. Wow. Well, that's some good shit. But we still got one more to read. I don't know if I'm going to split this into one part or two parts. We'll see. In the end, I couldn't choose. I chose not to make a decision. I decided to postpone tomorrow's plan. Made Alina's corpse seem like she was killed by a mysterious assassin who infiltrated Mani, reporting it to Mani's superiors and my country as such. The higher-ups in my country would have no choice but to postpone the plan if the spy they sent was killed by someone else. It's only a matter of time before they began suspecting I defected, but I didn't have to deal with that just yet. At least for tonight, just for tonight, I allowed myself to avert my eyes from the issues in front of me. Moved Eileen's body to the bathroom and went to bed with my sister. I embraced my sister, who was about half or a third my size, under the blanket. She's been apologizing ever since she finished crying. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's my fault. Sorry. I'm sorry. I told her the same thing over and over in response. It's okay. It'll all be okay. Don't worry. Leave everything to me. Anyone who was revived as a clone may inherit their previous feelings, memories, and personality, but their physical abilities were reset to 0. I'm sorry. She must have apologized to exhaustion. My 6-year-old big sister drifted off to sleep. In the room that smelled faintly of blood, I focused on the sensation of her warmth. Maybe because she was a child, or because her mental state was affecting her body, but her body temperature was much higher than my own. There's nothing for me to do now but to feel my big sister's warmth. I began thinking so much until now. All those thoughts, I ended up with this miserable result. Everything was back to 0. Thinking wasn't really my forte. ... When I woke up, I found myself alone. My sister was no longer in this world. Next to me, I found a broken X key that must have been shot with a single silenced handgun. That, along with the white sand that had once composed of my big sister's body. Oh, fuck. White sand that my sister had dissolved into. Felt nothing. I only lay still in the bed, staring at the pile of sand that was once my sister. Continued staring at each other. Don't know how long I stayed there. Before I knew it, the sunlight that peered through the gap of the curtain had reached my toes. I see. My sister killed herself. She killed herself again. Maybe she felt guilty for killing Adelina, or she couldn't stand to live after confessing her sins. Whatever the reason, my big sister killed herself. She ran away again. She left me alone again. What is this? The X key destroyed, she couldn't even come back to life as a clone. She had killed herself completely. She had run away completely. I realized I'd been glaring at the white sand that was once my sister. I realized there was an emotion growing in me that I'd never felt before. I immediately knew that it was without thinking about. I immediately knew what it was without thinking about. Hate? I was angry at my sister. After apologizing over and over like a broken tape recorder, after admitting her sin, she still ran away. She ran away, leaving everything for me to deal with. Must have been the one answer she could come up. It must have been the one answer she came up to after all the deliberation and despair. What was I supposed to feel after she died on me again? All the suffering I was left with after being left alone once more. I was stricken with sorrow by the fact that she didn't even consider any of it. Whether she saw through or abandoned her mission, I wanted her to be alive. Didn't want her to leave it to me. I wanted her to endure it with me. What was I supposed to do now? Who cares? Thinking wasn't my forte. Whether clones are the process of cloning or sin or not wasn't something I could figure out by thinking about it. It wasn't something for one person to decide. If I couldn't rely on my sister or anyone else, if there was no one to decide for me, all I could rely on was God. Now that Alina is dead, obtaining the device to detonate mine is a simple task. Oh, fuck. Just like that? Just like that. That's how they fucking end it. God, that's bullshit. I'm still also missing one thing here. I wonder what though. This is gonna bug me. Probably missing only one thing there. It's gonna bug the hell out of me. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, I don't know about you guys, but holy shit, that was a long, again, I don't even know if I'll be.
Careful. Ready? Ready?
That's a fucking Metroid, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Whoa.
They won't get away.
Ready? Break this.
Wow, so that's just how they're ending it, huh?
Ready? Careful. Ready? Yeah. This.
That's how they're fucking ending that, huh?
I'll take it. Look out.
Wow, that's crazy. But again, guys, that was a long ass video.
let's rest for a bit.
Okay. It's like I don't think I need to heal them, but that was a long ass read, and my throat is hurting.
I need to go to the restroom.
Not bad. I can't hold it in much longer.
It's so good.
Is there a restaurant? That's all right. Watch out.
But yeah, So yeah, that was something. Like I did not expect that.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
Not bad at all.
And again, like I had no idea what those notes were about. So, but anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this part, or these parts of Let's Play Zanki Zero. In the next part, we probably will wrap everything up, and then I don't know. I might continue on to show off everyone's spawns or stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching these videos, guys. If you like the videos, please give a like button a click. Comment down below what you like about the videos, didn't like about the videos, and let me know, what did you think of the notes, like about Olga and her sister and all that whole story. God, my throat's dry. I need to get some water. So yeah. And as always, guys, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a beat, and subscribe to my main channel too. That's in the description below. As well as follow me on Twitter, both my main Twitter and the RPG Kingdom Kids Twitter are in there too. I want to thank you all so much for watching once again, and I'll see you all next time.